good morning. I hope you've had a really lovely time so far with Community Church Blackburn. So we're going to do the Kids Live. And just as always, because it's kids' work, you may need a few props in a minute. So after we've done the song today, we're going to do a little bit of experimenting. If you have a portable device, you may want to take it into the kitchen or the bathroom where there is a sink or a bath, because we're going to do some floating and sinking experiments. If you're brave, I've got a big plastic in the living room and a bucket of water, and we're going to do some floating and sinking experiments. So if you're a parent, you may want to get that set up while we're doing our next song. Just grab a variety of different things from around the house that you can pop in a bowl of water and see if they float or sink. So yeah, as always with kids, there is extra things that you're going to need to help you join in with us live. So if you are online, it'd be lovely to know that you're there. Send us any pictures of your floating and sinking, particularly if you've got your camera and you're able to take any pictures or videos of children joining in with the dance, and that'd be fantastic. Yeah, so we're going to start this morning with a song. As always, we're going to start with Solid Ground. And I'm going to have some willing volunteers to come and help me. So children, your cue, come and join me over here. Find a bit of a space. Okay. So I think everybody knows the actions. This one, girls, they landed in the doorway this week. They were dancing last week, but you couldn't see them because they were out of shot. So if they do that, you might have to pan round so that you can see them doing their dancing too. Get some clapping going.
Searches the dark, trades what he's got to bring us home. What kind of grace runs to our faith, lays down everything. Your love has turned us around, set our feet on solid ground. Your faithful love has turned us around, set our feet on solid ground, set our feet on solid ground.
This time we're going to try and pass the wave. You ready, Charlotte? I'll start. To you. And then bring it back again. Maybe we can send it to the camera. Are you ready to go? Whoop. To you. Coming back. Coming back to you. Whoop.
Oh, what kind of love searches the dark, trades all he's got to bring us home. What kind of grace runs to our faith, lays down his love. Your love has turned us around, set our feet on solid ground, set our feet on solid ground. Your faithful love has turned us around, set our feet on solid ground, set our feet on solid ground, 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 ground.
Ready?
We hear the sound of your miracles, bringing hope to life, bringing strongholds down. We're running out of the prison doors, running into life with our chains undone. Of your miracles, bringing hope to life, bringing strongholds down. We're running out of the prison doors, running into life with our chains undone.
Here we go. This is where we do our freestyle. We do a robot. Or an Egyptian. Can you do an Egyptian? That's it. We're doing a robot Egyptian. we go. Okay, so I hope you had fun doing sonogram with us. Those actions, the last verse, that was those actions are courtesy of Ruben Norcross, so thanks Ruben. And so we're going to start with our floating and sinking activity. So you device and you are moving rooms, then you can move to a room that is slightly more waterproof. Or if you're feeling brave, you can find your plastic tea, or you can just do it later, that's fine too. So here we go, let's get this one out. Right boys, you can come and help me, come and sit on the mat. Charlotte, are you going to help or are you going to sit over there today? There we go. Okay. Daddy can get in there if he wants to. So, we've got just some things that we found around the house. We're going to have a go and see if they float or if they sink. So here we go. We'll put them here. You can have a guess while we're getting ready which ones are going to float and which ones are going to sink. You think those two are going to float? Okay, right. Benny, which one are you going to do first? The spoon, plastic spoon. Is it floating or sinking?
Floating.
It's floating! It's floating. Okay, let's have another one then. Charlotte, which one are you going to do? Floating or sinking, Benny?
Floating.
It's floating. Okay, Benny, choose another one. Oh, the pepper pot. It's floating. The plastic pepper pot's floating too. Found lots of floaty things. Which one do you think is going to sink, Sammy? Go on then, try that big stone. It definitely sank, didn't it? It sank all the way down. You want to do that one? Okay, this is a ball of tin foil. Do you think it's going to float or sink, Benny? You think it might float? Well done. It does float, well done. Okay, a Nerf dart. Floats or sinks? Floats. Okay, Charlotte, what about the spoon? Sinks or floats? Sinks. So but this spoon floated.
Because it's made of plastic.
Go on then, to the coin, Benny.
Float.
Does that float?
There.
Is it floating or is it sunk?
There.
It's sunk, it's gone down to the bottom, hasn't it? Okay, last one. Benny, what do we think, Sammy? You've done this before, I think Sammy knows the answer. Benny, do you think it's going to float or sink?
Float.
You think it's going to float? Let's have a go.
Float.
It's bobbing, isn't it? It's kind of half floating, half sinking. It's bobbing on the surface. Okay, floating, a bit like a boat. So, do you want to take the water out the way?
Boats.
Boats, we make boats float, that's right.
Pieces of wood.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
What about
plastic.
us? Can we float?
No.
Can you make yourself float in the swimming pool? Charlotte, can you make yourself float in the swimming pool? Yeah, how do you float when you're in the swimming pool? Lie on your back and just move your hands and you can float. Can you float if you stand on your feet in the swimming pool?
No.
Can you walk on the water?
No.
No, you can't, can you? Well, you can if Mummy holds you. But I have a story today about someone who
I know it.
Go and sit back down over there so that Daddy can get in with the camera.
I know the story.
Then you come and sit with Sammy. We can come in a second.
I know the story.
I'm just going to set our scene. Here we go.
Mommy, I know.
We're going to have a little bit of imagination with this one.
I know.
Okay. You tell me in a minute then. We'll see if everyone else has guessed it too.
Tell me.
Okay, so our story today is from Matthew chapter 14 and it's verse 22 to 33. Okay. This story is about Jesus. So this is our Jesus today. Okay. He might have to come in a bit closer if he's going to film this one. But this is Jesus. Okay. So Jesus had been on a big hill doing lots of amazing things. And let me introduce you to someone else. This is Peter. Now Peter was one of Jesus' special friends. And he had been with Jesus for a long time, from almost the beginning of when Jesus started doing all of his miracles. And he's seen amazing things. He's seen people who couldn't see start to see. He's seen people who couldn't walk start to walk. He's just seen 5,000 people who were hungry fed on one boy's packed lunch. Okay, he's seen Jesus do amazing things. Okay, so this is Peter. He's one of Jesus' friends. Now, Jesus had 12 special friends that we call the disciples. And Jesus has just fed lots of people on a big hill. And he says to the disciples, get in the boat and go into the lake and I will catch up with you later once I've sent all these people away. So all the disciples get in the boat and they start to sail away. Okay, there we go. Jesus, he tells all the people to go home. He waits till they've gone and he goes up the mountain because Jesus needs to spend some time with his Father in heaven. So Jesus is up the mountain praying and the disciples in their boat are on the lake. Now, the disciples, a lot of them were fishermen, so they're really good at sailing water. They understand being in boats. They've done it all their lives. But this night, it gets a little bit rough on the sea, even for them. There's waves around all of, look at these waves, like big sea, big wave. Whoa, whoa! The boat is bouncing around. There's a strong wind blowing their sails. Okay, so they are in the middle of the lake. So it says in the Bible that they were in the middle of the lake with the wind and the waves. And about 4 o'clock in the morning, when they're in the middle of the sea, the waves and everything, they see something walking on the water. Already they're scared because of the wind and the waves. And then this thing starts walking towards them. And the last thing they're thinking is that it's going to be a person walking on the water. So they go, "Ah, it's a ghost!" And Jesus says, "Don't be scared, it's me." And they all look at him. And Peter, because he's quite brave, he comes to the front and he says, "Jesus, if it's really you, tell me to come to you on the water." So Jesus says, "Come." So Peter does this amazing thing. He gets out of the boat, even though it's really windy and lots of waves. He gets out of the boat, and you know what? He's looking at Jesus, and he's walking on the water just like Jesus, which is pretty amazing. But then all of a sudden, there's a big wave, and Peter stops looking at Jesus, and he starts looking at the waves and the wind. And as he does that, he starts to sink below the waves. And he calls out, he says, "Jesus, help!" And Jesus, because he loves him, he goes straight over and he lifts him up. And he says to Peter, "Oh, Peter, why didn't you trust me?" And Jesus takes him back to the boat. And as they arrive at the boat, the wind and the waves, they stop. And all of the disciples on the boat look at Jesus and they bow down and they say, "Surely you are God's Son." Okay, so that's the story of Jesus and Peter walking on the water. Okay, so that was our story for today. I love that story because I think sometimes this is like us. We can be like Peter. We can get all excited about Jesus on a Sunday morning or when we go to Bible camp or something like that. But when we're at home and things start to go a bit wrong or things start to get a bit scary, we start to think about the scary things. We start to think about what's worrying us, and we start to listen to the news, or we start to listen to other people around us, and we stop looking at Jesus. And when that happens, we get really scared. But the best thing is that because God loves us, all we have to do is look to him and ask him to help, and he'll grab hold of us. The Bible promises us that he will be our comfort and our strength. And he loves you so much, he wants you to be his friend and he wants to keep you safe. So just like Peter in that story, keep your eyes fixed on Jesus. Ask him, call to him, say help! And he will come and he'll help you. And he'll help you feel safe. So, what I'd really like you to do today as your challenge, last week I asked you to go away and pray as a family. What would be really good is if you go away and find a song to sing along to together. Now in children's work we often do lots and lots of bouncy songs. But we also use some quieter songs. So there are some songs that you could do that the kids from church will know. So there's one by the Wren Collective called "This is the Story of the Cross" by Rendco Kids. Or there's one by Simon Brading. Oh, Pete's going to have to help me. It goes, "You're the Holy One, you're the Risen King.
Hallowed be your name."
Hallowed be your name by Simon Brading. Or there's one called Holy. So all of those are ones that we use in kids' work. Or you might have one that you use at home. But spend some time as a family just listening to a quieter song and remembering that you are loved by God. So, thank you very much for joining us. We will hopefully see you again next week. But yeah, have a lovely Sunday. See you soon.